I decided to rewatch the 1994 film Rudyard Kipling's The Jungle Book. Yeah, if you just search The Jungle Book on Rotten Tomatoes, you will never find it. You have to specifically say Rudyard Kipling's The Jungle Book. I don't think I've seen the movie in at least 15 years, and I thought it was very exciting as a kid, and I wanted to see how well it held up. This movie is painfully underrated. Siskel gave it 1 out of 4 stars, and even though it has a relatively high Rotten Tomatoes critic score, the audience score is a measly 55% for 25,000 reviews. Whatever! This movie is awesome, and I still love it. I actually think I appreciate it more watching it last night than I did as a kid. The Jungle Book is the story of a young Indian boy named Mowgli who ends up getting lost in the jungle when the British camp his father is working for is attacked by Shere Khan the tiger. Mowgli ends up making friends with the animals and lives in the jungle for years, becoming a wild man who has lost his knowledge of language and civilization. He eventually runs into the British again, and he is reunited with his childhood crush, Kitty, played by Lena Headey, the daughter of a British general. Kitty's jealous, kinda but not really boyfriend, played by Cary Elwes, finds out that Mowgli knows the location of a lost ancient Indian city filled with untold treasures. Cary Elwes takes Kitty hostage to coax Mowgli into showing him the way through the jungle to find the lost city. What I really liked about The Jungle Book is that it was made in the early 90s, which was at the tail end of the age when family movies were a little more hardcore. Family movies in the 80s and early 90s often had the occasional swear word, adult joke, and people even died on screen. I know, shocking. People die in this movie, and some of it can be pretty rough for younger viewers. There is a scene where a British soldier is chasing after Mowgli in the jungle, and he falls into some quicksand, and it is probably the most disturbing thing I have seen in a family film. And even to this day, it just gives me the heebie-jeebies in the worst way. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th. Nothing in those movies creeps me out more than watching that British guy slowly get sucked into the quicksand and die. My goodness. The Jungle Book was also made back when you could use real animals in films. We have real tigers, panthers, bears, and wolves running around with the actors on set, and that gives it authenticity that is often lacking in this computer-generated world we live in. The Jungle Book is very exciting. The last half of the movie has an Indiana Jones vibe where we see several of the British bad guys getting picked off one by tigers, quicksand, booby traps, or giant snakes. Easily the best parts of the movie are the 2 scenes where our human characters are in a treasure room in the lost city, and King Louie and the monkeys are observing them from the ledges above. And they all start shrieking because you can see Kaa, the giant anaconda, slithering underneath the treasure, and all the humans are looking around confused like, why are these monkeys freaking out? And then it just goes silent and you see these monkeys stop, become really quiet, and just have the most somber facial expressions like, well, see you later, buddy. And then the big snake jumps out and grabs people. Those scenes are a masterclass in cinematography and suspense building, and the filmmakers deserve a lot more respect than they get for that work. Jason Scott Lee is great as Mowgli. He does a very good interpretation of a man who doesn't understand how to act like regular human beings, but he always has that inquisitive look with quick head movements that you often see animals do. And if he gets injured, he shrieks in a high-pitched voice like some kind of primate, and it's very well done. The movie even has some profound dialogue in there. Since Mowgli was raised in the jungle, he doesn't understand the concept of humans killing animals and other humans for absolutely no reason. He has a conversation where Cary Elwes is showing him how ancient Indian weapons work, and Mowgli says, "And after you kill him, you eat him?" And Elwes responds, "Heavens no. Then why kill him? Because he's your enemy. What is enemy? Someone you hate. What is hate?" Ah, it's so good! Another good thing about The Jungle Book is that it's short. Under 2 hours. It doesn't wear out its welcome, and I greatly appreciate that. My only complaints are some of the action is choreographed a little poorly. We see some sword fights with very slow, deliberate "Hey-ya! Hey-ya!" that just doesn't look very believable, and the musical score is also very forgettable. I highly recommend this film for families, although it may freak out your younger kids, but I'm not sure it's totally a bad thing for kids to get a little scared every once in a while, but who knows.